want to introduce you to one of our alums from Donda's house. This guy, I mean, he's, you know what I mean, one day he'll wear a grill, one day he won't, and you won't even know he got a master's degree, you know what I'm saying? Very intelligent brother, went through our program. He could definitely tell you about what he received from Donda's house and what you can expect, and he's going to introduce our guest of the day. Please give it up for my man, my little brother, Hakim Dough.
Thanks for those kind words. How y'all doing today? Y'all ready to have a conversation with Vic? Alright, so what Donda's house has meant to me, that light that he talked about, that Dr. West instilled in him at a young age, is what I received through Che, right? What I received through Ronfest. It's something that continues to go through us, right? These thoughts that we embody and that we live. And that's what we hope to bring to Diet. So we're excited to be here, and we're excited to have y'all have the opportunity to work with you. The person we're gonna have a conversation with today, Vic, y'all excited, y'all know who he is. Grammy nominated, right? He grew up not too far from here. He grew up in the High Park neighborhood, in the community heavily, constantly advocating for the people, right? And advocating for the youth so that tomorrow is a better day. I'm not gonna say too much more. We're gonna get to the conversation. Would you like to come up here, Vic? What's up? How y'all feeling?
Just put y'all on the ground. Is that legal? You should have now. Alright, cool.
Okay, cool. So let's get to it. So you've been.
No, I was just thinking I'm not that tall. I want to make sure everybody can see us, you know.
You want to stand on the couches? Take it like
This is so you can see in the back, you know. You still can't see. This got to be a little bit better though.
It's a little bit better. The people in the middle row are appreciative. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been counted out by people close to you. You've lost loved ones on this journey to where you're at. You've had people who you thought before you turned their back on you, but you've also turned tragedy to triumph, right? You've become this source of support for people who you love. You've also become this light for youth across the country and international. How do you feel in this moment, and what is it about that makes you feel that way?
Well, in this particular moment, I feel proud. I feel honored to be able to get these good young people out of class for a second, because I know they're probably feeling that. You know, and be so close to where I grew up. I grew up right on 47th and Woodlawn. So to be able to come here and speak, you know, all off of rapping, is special, because I remember being that kid in high school. I was never good at getting up in the morning, being in the hallways rapping, you know, and most teachers, most people didn't really understand it, and you know, it'd be like, get to class, you know, or like, why you rapping so much, you know? But there would be a few people, you know, people in the lane of like a Donda West that Ronfest speaks about, or how you speak about Fest. A few people that would see that I had, if nothing else, just a dedication that was special, you know? So it wasn't like day one, everybody was always supporting me. You know, I really had to work hard on my own. And so it's an honor for me to be able to come back here, so I feel honored.
Okay, clap it up. It's actually interesting that you say that, because I know growing up, it seems like some of the first people who support you, some of the first people who see that brightness in you is your friend group, right? And I imagine those are the people you're rapping with when you're in the hallways, right? And so you come from this collective, Save Money, right? You were in a band, Kids These Days. So what I'm curious about is, how has collaboration molded you into the person that you are today and as an artist?
You know, I think that one thing about collaboration that is so special is you get to absorb the talents of other people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure we got some artists in here. I saw a lot of artists when he asked who was an artist. You know, so one kid's gonna rap, the other kid produces, one young lady might sing, and by working together, they can all pick up a little bit of the other's talents, you know what I'm saying? So I've learned to make beats and produce and sing just by being around people that play instruments and people that are producers, people that are singers, you know what I'm saying? So, and being around people that are just next level creatively. You know, I remember being Harold Washington Library. We used to have this thing at Harold Washington Library. I think they still do. It's called DYN or something like that. U Media.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So you know, we used to be at Harold Washington Library, and this is when I was your age, recording in the studio that they had in the library, and it was just some phenomenal writers and poets and rappers and singers that were in Harold Washington Library that now I go around the world and people comment to me about, you know, these individuals that I grew up with. Like one of them is named No Name Gypsy. She's an amazing rapper, started as a poet. And I just remember being 15, 14 years old, being in this library, and you know, I'm getting off the 6 bus. You know, I'm in the library, I'm like, I probably got a winter coat, it's freezing outside, and she's just in there with these next level combinations of words, just so emotive. And this is before she even started rapping, but you know, it's just inspiring to go from watching that in real time as a kid to go out to Belgium and somebody's like, No Name Gypsy, I love her. You know what I mean? Like, that's a crazy thought, you know, that it's really possible. You know, it's so very possible to come from the South Side, from the West Side, from areas where they count us out, you know, and that's just the truth of the matter. And they often don't think of us as capable, but the reality of it is, you know, we're more than capable, more talented, you know, than, and it's the struggle, the fact that you have to struggle, you know, just to make it to an even playing field that I think gives us a leg up creatively though. And one thing I think is important is to, you know, never look at your situation and like feel sorry for yourself and feel upset because you got to do more work than, you know, maybe the next man or the next woman does, you know, just to be on an even playing field. Because when you do that work, that's what's gonna put you ahead, because you had to put in more work. You know, we gotta put in more work to get a lot of the things that other people might have given to them. But when we put in that work, you know, you end up with a certain dexterity and strength that you might not have if it was all handed to you.
So when people are doubting you, when you have that feeling, that overwhelming feeling of people around me don't believe in me, they don't think I'm capable, what would you give to these young students in this audience to continue to move on, to not believe that and to believe in yourself?
I think you gotta understand that fear is just an apparition. It's not reality. You know what I'm saying? And that at the end of the day, your life as you have it, that's what's real. That's all that's real. Everything else is a situation. And if you can remove yourself from the situation and recognize and appreciate, you know, that I'm alive in this moment, because you know, oftentimes I find myself, you know, maybe on a first class flight to somewhere, Tokyo, and my champagne didn't come fast enough, you know, and you'd be like, and you'll get mad about that, you know, everything is situational, and then you know, I have to ground myself, remind myself, you know, I lost best friends when we were 19, you know, 16, 17. I'm blessed to be alive wherever I am. And, you know, every person in this room is blessed to be alive. You know, so you gotta appreciate that.
Let's clap it up.
So let's talk autobiography, the album. And you touch on loss of life, right? You have these stories like Heaven on Earth, which is real touching where you touch on that. You have Hidden Eye, where you kind of speak to that doubt and affirming yourself through it. Why was it important to make a song like Homewrecker?
The song Homewrecker is it was about a relationship that was, you know, important to me, and it collapsed, and so my ex-girlfriend broke into my crib and she destroyed it. You know, pulled the stove out the wall, smashed the water glass. I just thought it was dramatic. What's that? Okay, cool. I just thought it was a dramatic story, man. You know, as a songwriter, I feel like it's those dramatic moments and just things that leap off the page that it's just like, you know, I have to write a song about this. To tell the truth, for artists that are in this room or anybody that's writing songs, Rhyme Fest touched on something that I think is really important earlier. Just that the trends that you see and what's popular as a songwriter is sometimes gonna make you think that, okay, because he's rapping about this and that and they gang banging and, you know, they're selling this is what's popping in rap, this is what I need to talk about, or this is what's working in music. You know, but I find that whatever your real situation is, whatever your real life is, nothing is more compelling, you know, than real honesty in real life. And I'm sure that, you know, in this room now and as you grow up over the next couple of years, like y'all are gonna see and have seen things that are real past the experience of people from other places sometimes, you know, and that's something that I recognize and that I've put into my music, just because, you know, the truth is that we do lose people a lot, and you know, we all have people involved in, you know, certain things, and that's kind of the nature of the situation. I'm not gonna really go into that, but I will say that, you know, as an artist, just be a lens, you know, and if you can just be a lens and take in what you're seeing outside of yourself and try to transform that realistically into music. You ain't gotta embellish. You don't have to make things up. You know, just tell your real life. You know, tell what you're really seeing and what you're really going through. So that's why I made that song, because that was, you know, that was my real life, and my career was all messed up. I'm sitting in the middle of the kitchen with broken glass all around me. I'm like, well, you know, that's the song right there.
Right. A day in the life of a rapper. What is a day for a rapper look like?
Of all rappers, it's like, well, you know, right now I'm on tour, so I mean, right now it's pretty crazy. You know, I'm on tour opening for Jay-Z, so it's
Clap it up.
replays every night. And you know, I think that as I progress in the music industry, and you know, more situations, opportunities, challenges present themselves to me, you know, I've dedicated myself to music for a long time. Like, how old is everybody in here? 16, 14, right around there. I can't tell which one is louder. Let me try it. Yeah. This is pretty much the same, right? But this may be a little bit louder. Well, you know, since I was about 14 years old, though, since I was 14, I've been focused on music. And I remember being in auditoriums, you know, like this one, with school microphones, like rapping, you know what I'm saying? Like be it, I wasn't like in the talent show or anything like that, but you know, they might have open mics here or there. I know they're speaking about doing an open mic here, you know. I was in all of those places doing the open mic. I remember there's a dope photo of me and Chance at Whitney Young on an open mic stage, you know what I mean? Like right outside the school, I'm holding the mic, you know what I mean, looking cool, he over there, you know, being like Chance, you know what I mean? We was just getting busy, you know what I'm saying? And to think about a photo like that, being on that stage that was no taller than this chair, and then being on these stages every night, you know, opening the show for Jay-Z, you know, it just shows you that if you put your mind to it and you dedicate yourself, that the possibilities are endless, 100% endless. And I asked what age you guys were, because I want to let you know that people are going to tell you you're a kid, you know, maybe you'll know better when you grow up, like give it a couple years, you'll learn some things, but man, don't listen to any of that, because when I was 14 years old, I was writing raps. That's when I first really started writing raps, right before I was going into high school. 14 years old, and I focused on it, you know what I'm saying? I would be in school, I'm not telling you to do this, but they'll tell me to take notes. I pretend I was taking notes, but I'd really be writing rhymes though, you know? I'd be writing raps, rapping in the hallway, got my headphones with the beats, and it really worked out, you know what I'm saying? I never let people tell me that I should, you know, go down the life path that they think I should. Because that's the thing, is that there's so many conventions and so many blueprints and so many expectations of people to like fit into society as we know it, and to like, you know, be a part of their workforce and whatever it is. But I feel that it's more important to follow passion. You know, follow where your heart is. You don't want to wake up one day and, you know, be paying the bills, but just not be happy with yourself. And at the end of the day, I think that's all people really want, you know, to be happy with themselves. Like, and follow what makes you happy. Don't let people deter you. It makes me think, because we were talking a second ago about like growing up. You were gonna ask about growing up, like being into punk rock and stuff like that. You know, because I grew up right around here, and I remember growing up being into skateboarding, and you know, since then, like Lupe came out skateboarding, Lil Wayne was riding the skateboard around. He's actually pretty good, and so I guess it's kind of like become a little bit more accepted. But I remember when I started skateboarding around here, nobody was skateboarding, and it was like people to be like, "You super weird, shorty," like, you know what I'm saying? And people just didn't understand it. People didn't understand what I was on. They thought my clothes was weird, my pants was too little. This is before everybody started wearing small pants and skateboarding shoes. You know, people just didn't get it. And you know, sometimes it can be kind of deterring, because I'll be the only person in my neighborhood skateboarding or being into this stuff. You know, but I stuck to my guns. I stayed to what made me me, and what interested me, what I was attracted to, and just what I cared about. And eventually things came around, you know what I'm saying? And now there's a lot more skateboarders on the South Side, which I think is dope. And you know, so when I say follow what makes you happy, I mean, like, don't just do what the next man does because, you know, it appears that that's the trend or that's what's accepted. Like, do what you like. If you like classical music or something, like, you know, pursue that. Don't let people's expectations of you take you off your own path.
You seem to be a self-starter. Like, you say you're the only one in your neighborhood skating, or at 14 you're writing raps and you're not really in the talent shows, but you're in open mics. I'd like to hear you speak about like what it means to motivate yourself, or the difference between someone teaching you something or you learning on your own.
100. So I would say, I would say right now that, man, the possibilities to teach yourself anything for your generation specifically are so endless. I'll teach myself piano off of YouTube right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that anybody in this room, we all have an equal possibility to learn and develop so many talents, just because of interconnectivity and the internet. I remember being in high school, man, and when you speak about self-starting, we really self-started the music. Like, we would print out CDs and flyers, and we'd get on Twitter, and I would say, what high school wants to rock with us? We got the show this Friday, we're selling tickets, what high school wants us to pull up? And we would just pull up to a different high school every day, you know what I'm saying? After we got out of school, we would just pull up to a different high school and, be passing out flyers and rapping and selling CDs and just hustling, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have a publicist, we didn't have the money for a publicist, but so we decided to be our own publicist. And that's a model, man, that's available to everybody, whatever it is that you do. Don't take for granted this network of people that you have just waiting to support you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's however many, maybe thousands of kids in the school, and that's all a potential network of people that can support you in whatever it is that you do. You have a lot of artists like Keith and Dirk and Herb and people that literally built a following specifically on the South Side. Like, really got cracking in the high schools in Chicago, and now that has spread to be a worldwide phenomenon. So I think that you're in a special position, being in high school right now at a point in time like this, because, like I said, you have this pool of resources and people just waiting to be persuaded into, buying into you, whatever it is that you do, into your art, into your music, into your fashion.
Okay, so y'all hustling, right? Y'all getting it out the mud. Y'all really got these business plans and these marketing strategies before y'all probably even know what business plans and marketing strategies are, right? So because eventually at some point it becomes a business and it gets professional. So what can students in this audience, what's the takeaway that they can take with them as they make that transition into professionalism and trying to be an artist?
I think what's important is that, specifically as an artist, that you don't forget why you started. And I've had points in time in my life and in my career when I kind of veered off path and I was maybe falling into trends and making music and saying things that I didn't 100% believe in. And I had to come back to center and remember why I started to do this, And I started to do this because, growing up on 47th and Woodlawn in a 2-parent household where I had a lot of privilege just from that alone, and being able to look outside, but, see dope boys on the corner and see people, friends of mine, families struggling in a whole different way. Just that disparity, things being unequal, always rubbed me the wrong way, and I always wanted to talk about it, and that was really why I started to make music. That's the music that I've made since I started. And as you try to turn something that's art into business, that you don't want to lose the soul of it. You don't want to lose the heart of it. You don't want to forget why it is that you first picked up a pen or a microphone or a paintbrush in the first place.
So let's give Vic Mensa a round of applause. So for him to come so early in the morning to be with us, we're super appreciative. And we're actually going to make an announcement that's super exciting. So I'm going to pass the mic over to our creative director.
So, with Vic, the whole thing is this. Man, when we called, he came. And that's what we want from our entertainers, our athletes, our business people. When the community calls, who's coming? And because Vic has heeded the call of the community and our new relationship with Diet and Donda's House being here, we're going to build a state-of-the-art studio in this school for people to record, and we're going to name the vocal booth after Vic Mensa. So, we look forward. Yeah, and Vic, we're not only naming it after Vic, Vic is actually going to design the vocal booth that we're going to be recording in. So when you know you're recording in that booth, you're going to be recording in the spirit of Vic. You know what I'm saying?
So this event will be the first of many to come. You can think of Donda's House as an extension of your Diet family here. You will see us regularly here in the building. All of the events that we do are 100% free, both here in the school and out in the community. And you guys are more than welcome to come to anything that we do. So if you have further questions, you can hit us up at Donda's House on all of the social media platforms. And like I said, tomorrow is our first day officially in the building, and we're going to be downstairs next to 013 is our office here in the building. So thank you to 1871. Many of you have participated in the entrepreneurship program here through 1871, and we actually, Donda's House would not be here if it were not for 1871 bringing us in the building. So let's give a round of applause. And with that said, we hope you have a wonderful day and continue to share your truth. That's our motto at Donda's House, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.